Thank God it's Friday on the set of Inside Nigeria on Leadership Television this Friday, July 19, 2024. My name is Winifred Kwebo, your host on the program. On today's edition of the program, we are going to be looking at only the front headline stories of some select newspapers, including Nigeria's foremost newspaper, Leadership Friday. We'll start off with Leadership Friday. Leadership Friday main headline story says minimum wage federal government labor end fight agree on 70,000 naira. Minimum wage federal government labor end fight agree on 70,000 naira. Ajero expresses caution about deal. Wages to be reviewed every 3 years. Tackle inflation for meaningful impact, experts. And OPS says we need federal government support to pay, that is organized private sector. We need federal government support to pay. This is one of the riders on that the main headline story today on Leadership Friday. Minimum wage, federal government labor and fight agree on 70,000 naira. Of course, that was our take home remark in yesterday's edition of the show when we talked about obviously an agreement between Labour and federal government for President Tinubu to have taken sent another supplementary bill of about 6.2 trillion naira to the National Assembly, which he said covered the minimum wage. Of course, my guest on the show said there was obviously a tacit agreement already between Labour and federal government. So today's main headline story put pay to that. Other headline story on Leadership Friday say autonomy. Senate unveils local government electoral commission bill. Autonomy. Senate unveils local government electoral commission bill. The story is on page 7 of Leadership Friday. And underneath the photo of President Bola Tinubu with NLC President Ajero and Minister of Labour Honorable Onyeji Ocha. There is a picture on the cover of Leadership Friday today, as well as other papers on our menu today. Underneath that, reps donate 50% of 6 months' salaries to tackle hardship is on page 6 of Leadership Friday. And beside the masthead of Leadership Friday, military police deny securing illegal miners is a story on page 4 of the paper. And above the masthead, federal government wants organizers of hunger protest against violence. Federal government wants organizers of hunger protest against violence. Petrol landing cost rises above 1,000 naira per litre. These are headline story today on Leadership Friday. Let's move to the page 2 of the paper where we have our stand and see what our stand is offering today, Friday. Our stand is on planned hunger protest. Planned hunger protest, of course, is also one of the stories on the headline news. From our stand, we move to the back page where we have our regular conversation with Azu. So Azu is having conversation on in this difficult marriage, Democrats must love Biden. In this difficult marriage, Democrats must love Biden. That is the conversation on today with Azu on Leadership Friday. For continuation of this column, the editorial inside stories, continuation of headline stories on Leadership Friday, log on to the website www.leadership.ng. From Leadership, we move to The Punch. Incidentally, all the papers have the same headline story, main headline story today as their main cover. So The Punch's main headline story says minimum wage NAS gets bid Tuesday as Tinubu Labour agree on 70,000 naira. Minimum wage NAS gets bid Tuesday as Tinubu Labour agree on 70,000 naira. Federal government says minimum wage for review every 3 years. Labour leaders justify new salary. President directs payment of NASU SANU's withheld salaries. OPS rejects electricity tariff. Other stories beneath the main picture, which also incidentally is on Leadership Friday, is the picture of the truce or the agreement between federal government, Labour, and the committee members. That's the picture, full picture on the Punch. Beneath that, customs intercept 3.6 billion naira bulletproof jackets, drugs in Ogun. Customs intercept 3.6 billion naira bulletproof jackets, drugs in Ogun. Police raid hoodlums hideout, recover weapons in Bauchi. Police raid hoodlums hideout, recover weapons in Bauchi. 423 billion naira probe, El-Rufai alleges bias, 6 case transfer. The story runs on page 13 of the Punch. 423 billion naira probe, El-Rufai alleges bias, 6 case transfer. Beside the masthead, APC knocks PDP governors. Military mobilizes against mass protest. Above the masthead, cruise supply. Federal government continues fuel importation as Reds probe IOCs. Reps plead against anti-government protest, accept 50% salary cut. CBN resumes BDC dollar says naira weakens to 1,517 naira per dollar. These are the main headline stories on the Punch. For more, log on to the website of the Punch, www.punchng.com. From the Punch, we move to Vanguard, also similar headline story. Minimum wage, Vanguard says. Federal government labor settle for 70,000 naira. OPS list conditions. We are accepting it with mixed feelings because of economy, Ajero, and as the president. Minimum wage law to be reviewed every 3 years. Tinubu to submit executive bill to NAS next week. We can't pay without federal government support. OPS, organized private sector. NLC hosts NEC meeting today. Reps to expedite action on bill. Speaker Abbas. Riders beneath that main headline, minimum wage. Federal government labor settle for 70,000 naira. OPS list conditions. Beneath that, we have after protest, federal government makes U-turn on 18 years benchmark for admission into varsities orders. After protest, federal government makes U-turn on 18 years benchmark for admission into varsities orders. And in sports, FIFA rankings, Super Eagles drop one step. FIFA rankings, Super Eagles drop one step. Kano government approves 29 billion naira for infrastructure projects. And above the masthead of Vanguard, why fuel price may double as subsidy cost rises. The story that runs on page 19 of Vanguard. Why fuel price may double as subsidy cost rises. Of course, other papers captured it that landing cost has risen to above 1,000 naira. And of course, 10 pence from that story, why fuel price may double as subsidy cost rises, say that there are indications that cost of subsiding pump price of premium motor spirits petrol by the federal government is rising, with major marketers saying the landing cost is still rising. The Major Energy Marketers Association of Nigeria, MEMA, yesterday said the landing cost of petrol increased to 1,117 naira per litre in June 2024 from 1,2600.71 naira in May 2024, indicating an increase of 8.8% month on month. The association, which disclosed this in its presentation at the just concluded media webinar, also hinted that the price increase is continuing, meaning that the federal government is spending more in petrol subsidy. However, the federal government has continued to deny that it is paying subsidy on petrol. Let's move on to other stories on Vanguard newspaper. Ndume Akpabio has reduced Senate to federal government parastatal. Lukman as APC chieftain. Ndume Akpabio has reduced Senate to federal government parastatal. Lukman as APC chieftain. CBN resumes dollar sales to BDC, halt naira depreciation. Hardship, NLC CSOs unimpressed as reps cut salaries by 50% for 6 months. That concludes review of front headline stories today on Vanguard newspaper. For more, log on to www.vanguardngr.com. From Vanguard, this day is next. This day says, at last, federal government labor end weeks of feud, settle for 70,000 naira national minimum wage. At last, federal government labor end weeks of feud, settle for 70,000 naira national minimum wage. Tinubu says he's being careful not to make mistakes in driving economy along with labor. Federal government to transmit wage bill to NAS next week. Wage increase now to be negotiated every 3 years. We are accepting it with mixed feelings because of economy, says Ejero. Man OPSN NAS react, comment president. Okpebholo attacked in Benin, one dead as Edo government warns Shaibu. Just beneath the masthead of this day, concerns mount over retroactive taxation of banks' profit in finance bill. Concerns mount over retroactive taxation of banks' profit in finance bill. Edu, no plan to reintroduce beverage tax. Lawmakers slash salaries by 50% over nationwide hunger. An article says the demon is your allowance, not salaries. Comments decision. Above the masthead of this day, to curb market distortions, bridge exchange premium gap. CBN approves additional forex stays to BDCs at 1,450 naira per dollar. Naira depreciates to 1,630 naira at parallel market, 1,566 naira per dollar at official window. Apex Bank pays sales to end users at margin not exceeding 1.5% above purchase rate. Finance Bill seeks 3-year imprisonment for bank officials on windfall tax default. That concludes review of front headline stories on this day newspaper. For more, log on to www.thisdaylive.com. Which from the Guardian brings us to the last paper we have on our menu for review today, and that is the Guardian. Guardian main headline story. Of course, it has two main headline stories there on that cover in a plethora of other news items. It says minimum wage first, the main headline. Labour agrees to 70,000 naira as lawmakers slash pay for 6 months. And the illustration, federal government organized labor okay a triennial wage review, that is for every 3 years review. NECA man of orders meet as federal government to support businesses for easy compliance. We have Nigeria's minimum wage in value, that is in pound value, in dollar value. In 2019, the minimum wage was $88. In 2020, the minimum wage was $79. In 2021, the minimum wage was $63. In 2022, the minimum wage was $67. In 2023, the minimum wage was $65. And in 2024, $45 is the minimum wage currently. Then the cost of 50 kg bag of rice. 2020, it was 26,000 naira. 2021, 25,000 naira. 2022, 31,000 naira. 2023, the bag of rice 50 kg rose to 55,000 naira. And in 2024, currently stands for 85,000 naira. These are the illustrations beneath the main headline story on minimum wage as Labour agrees to 70,000 naira, as lawmakers slash pay for 6 months. The second main headline story there on The Guardian today, end of an era, reading culture suffers as legacy libraries rot, vanish in states. End of an era, reading culture suffers as legacy libraries rot, vanish in states. It's a big story that runs on page 4 and 5 of The Guardian. Let's look at other stories on that page. 50% windfall tax, shareholders dump bank stocks, seek policy reversal. 50% windfall tax, shareholders dump bank stocks, seek policy reversal. Fresh forest crisis, naira depreciation force CBN to resume BDC funding. Fresh forest crisis, naira depreciation force CBN to resume BDC funding. Afe Babalola urges federal government to close down mushroom substandard varsities. Others. Reps in rowdy session over alleged link of opposition to planned protest. Senate introduces bill to establish federal agency for local government area elections. Sean Jakpa syndrome, prepare for leadership, Olaokpa tells youth. Dangote refinery yet to be licensed, operations not scuttled, says NMDPRA. Udumen rests back demotion as Atiku, CUPP orders fourth attack on democracy. With that, we conclude review of front headline stories on The Guardian this Friday, July 19, 2024. For continuation of these headline stories, inside stories, and the editorial for today, log on to the website of The Guardian, www.guardian.ng. From Guardian we also draw the curtain on today's Friday edition of your breakfast show, Inside Nigeria. Don't forget, same time, same station, next week Monday is another edition, opportunity for another fresh edition of the program. My name is Winifred Ubebo. Here's wishing you a beautiful weekend, and don't forget to join us for this station for news on the hour. Thanks for joining.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080 3688